Alright, what up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. First time we're playing Madden 26 on the channel, and joining me today to kind of watch and talk about some Packer football and the NFL in general, the one and only Excabandai. What up, Zach?
What is up, internet? What is up, sir? How are you doing?
Yeah, not much. Trying to deal with fireworks going off because we're recording this on Labor Day, and my neighbors are kind of idiots, so we had one.
Don't have anybody shooting fireworks off over here.
We had one like an hour ago that hit so close to the house it shook some stuff off the wall, so I was not happy after putting the new, well, not newborn anymore, but he's 7 months old, but he got woke up by that.
Baby back to sleep.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But what do you think so far of Madden 26 and the presentation? I know it's early, but
I'm sure it has all the same glitches as the old ones, maybe even a couple new ones. But I do like the user interface. Looks nice. The pregame presentations, they look more fresh. I haven't played Madden in forever, personally, so I don't have a lot of experience with it, but it does look nice.
Yeah, so far I like the presentation. Like you said, they got the different scoreboards, different commentators and stuff this time, so that's been nice. I'm still getting used to throwing meter on this one though. This and College Football 26 have been absolutely killing me so far in the passing game. I've been trying to do like a private road to glory at quarterback for Florida State, and it's not always been pretty.
That was a nice run.
I'll take that all day. Yeah, speaking of Florida State, I am absolutely riding high after the win against Alabama right now. That's not relevant to this at all, but I just like to rub in Bama fans' faces with that one. So
even in a Madden video about the Packers, Bama fans are not safe.
Oh man, I'm so excited for work tomorrow for that part of it.
They didn't even part the Red Sea. They just left half the field open.
Yeah. It's because they're missing Parsons.
I mean, that is his side.
But yeah, so for everybody that has followed the channel before, and for those that are new to the channel, Zach and I typically during the regular season will do these type of Madden videos, basically to go over the Packers games that are upcoming. Kind of give our thoughts, what we're looking for during the game, stuff like that. Obviously, we're not, in the film room or anything like that. We're just kind of doing it as a fan look, pretty much more than anything.
Remember, our takes are bad, and we should probably feel bad for them.
Pretty much. So, we're planning on doing that again this year. I'm gonna do the online head-to-head format for those type of videos again. And then this year, a little bit different. I should have kept running more north, but yeah, we are.
This is for you, sir.
Yeah, I earned that one. But yeah, for the post-game stuff now, we're planning on doing a second video. Don't know yet if it's going to be franchise mode or ultimate team or what yet. Haven't quite decided that.
That was the first down.
I'll take that. Oh boy. Everybody's loading up to the left side, so let's flip it to the right. Well, that didn't work at all.
Maybe you should have done play action.
Honestly, with Madden, the play action is so bad half the time that, like, it would have probably been like a 12-yard sack.
You would have been a 12-yard sack.
Yeah. But, yeah, that second video that we're planning...
It's not going well.
This is going backwards. Alright, let's see if I do slot outs real quick. I keep going like, yeah, in that second video, and I blow up the play. So let me shut my mouth for a second and get through third down. And see if we can actually do something here.
Probably not.
Take that.
That was close. That was close, but you got it.
I'll take
Congratulations.
it. Thank you.
You have a lead.
Thank you. I needed that. But yeah, so the second video, we are basically planning on doing kind of a reaction to how the game went, how our crappy hot takes went, stuff like that. And again, don't know if it's going to be on Ultimate Team or if it's franchise mode or if we'll do something slightly different, but that's the plan at least for the Madden videos this year. So the ones pre-game are probably going to be on Saturdays. I'm assuming that the post-game ones are going to be Monday or Tuesday, but we'll kind of figure that out as we get our recording schedule set up and stuff. Getting through the busy season at work and people being sick and stuff in our houses, so yeah, it's been a little bit of a rough time recently.
Busy.
Yep. And then also on top of that too, for the channel, there is some other types of videos, not just Madden, so stay tuned for that too. I try to keep everybody up to date on all the socials and stuff, but you know, just stay tuned. That's the best way to kind of make sure you don't miss anything. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And then yeah, as we kind of wind down this first quarter here, what did you think of our offseason, Zach?
Boring. Super boring.
Literally nothing happened, obviously.
Nope. We didn't even draft anybody. We just skipped the draft entirely. So terrible.
Yep. It was in our own home, and we said, well,
I'm kidding, internet.
And that's one of the people that we were kidding about. That's
yeah,
gonna be
Micah freaking Parsons. We'll get to that trade in a little bit. But
yeah.
we're going to start with the draft because that's what happened first. Well, technically, I guess free agency opened first, but we'll start with the draft.
Yeah.
What'd you think of, well, how it went?
Yeah, I mean, first off, the event itself looked fun as hell. I was so jealous sitting there at the house not being able to go up to Wisconsin for this one. Especially considering we had planned on... oh, man. That's going to be fun. But, yeah, I mean, especially considering, like, we had planned on going to that draft for, like, pretty much the time it got announced. And then, yeah, I had my kid in January, so wasn't feasible to leave a newborn behind. But, yeah, I mean, overall with, like, the selections and stuff, Matthew Golden coming to Green Bay, you know, we finally got that first-round receiver that everybody's been on our backs about for several years.
Talk about a couple decades.
Yeah, you know, basically since I was in elementary, maybe middle school. Yeah, it's right around there. But, yeah, I think Matthew Golden's going to do really well this year, especially in Green Bay. Like, he looks great. You know, practice reports seem to be good. The little bit that we got to see of him in preseason seems to have, you know, pretty sure hands and stuff. You never want to be like, yeah, this... Yeah, you never want to be like, this rookie is the answer, but, you know, at least there's a little bit of hype to be had so far.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the answer, but, you know, when you have the team with the most drops last season, just him being sure-handed probably gets him the #1 spot outright within 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously you got Dobbs and company there, too. What the hell? I overthrew the hell of that on the meter.
Yep.
That sucked.
Spiked it.
We're right near midfield. Normally, I'd punt it. I kind of want to go for it on this video, but let me be true to how I would actually play this. Let's get my Irishman in the game. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, with Golden and stuff, I was pretty happy about that pick. Belton in the second round, you know, I like the size and potential of Belton. I thought it might be a little bit early when you see, like, all the draft grades, but obviously Green Bay's been really good about offensive linemen for however long at this point. So who am I to say, like, that was a bad pick right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they drafted him with the intention of him having to play this year, at least not significantly.
Yeah.
So, you know, barring injury, which I certainly hope doesn't happen because you want your starting line to play all year. Hopefully it's going to be a big, you know, adjust to the NFL game, and then, you know, maybe next year he can ball out and show what kind of a stud he really is. Ooh.
What the hell? Well, that sucked.
Ouch. And then he greeted on you.
Damn. If I was your brother right now, you would be so mad. Yeah, Pickens is going to be a fun addition over in Dallas. Just for entertainment value. If they start trailing a lot, you're going to see him fighting people downfield, it seems like.
Seems like. I mean, he did that weekly with
Yeah.
the Steelers.
But, yeah, I mean, as far as getting back to Belton and stuff, I was hoping he would end up at Florida State, you know, considering he was born in Tallahassee, but he ended up at our conference rival at NC State. Really good size. It seems like the Packers are committed to kind of getting both sides of the lines a lot bigger than what they had been. Because they got Aaron Banks from the 49ers too, and he's like 6'5", 325 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see that and the move to, you know, center for Jenkins and stuff like that. And
that was a good run. Great
yeah,
blocking.
Heck yeah. Yeah, and then obviously too, you got the extension for Zach Tom, so he's going to be there for a while. So I was pretty happy with all the offensive line moves. So it's going to be interesting to see how they gel this year. Especially Banks too. Like he played alongside Trent Williams for past 3-4 seasons that he was in San Francisco. So
yep.
I'm wondering how good he's going to look once he doesn't have Trent Williams next to him. But
yeah, Walker's not Trent Williams.
Yeah, but
not yet. I mean, maybe one day. Holding out hope. But right now, you know, he was solid last season. So, but he wasn't great.
Yep. Come on.
Come on, buddy. Can't
Come
drop
on.
that.
Yeah, outside of those two, you know, as the draft kept going on, Williams seems like he's going to be fun from TCU. Kind of a gadget player. Sorrell, I really enjoyed seeing him get selected by us after staying for day 3 of the draft.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He stayed by his own choice.
Yeah. So, like, shout out to him. Outside of that, you know, I'm never going to be mad about the Georgia boys with Brenson and them coming in, so I think we had an overall solid draft. You know, it's really going to be, if Golden hits, we're going to look back at this draft as a really, you know, really good one. If he doesn't, then, you know, hopefully somebody else steps up.
If your first, you know, your top 3-4 round picks play well, you know, your top 2 picks, you know, become studs to elite, everyone else plays well, and then you get any diamonds from the back half of your draft, you consider it successful.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was weird.
Yeah, I was just trying to throw a screen, and all of a sudden I thought I was getting picked 6th.
Yeah, and then we added Stackhouse as an undrafted free agent, and he looked pretty good in camp too. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this rookie class.
Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, also on top of that, to kind of cover everybody on the free agency, at least the major ones, obviously Jair's not a Packer anymore. He goes to Baltimore, and we got Nate Hobbs coming in from, you know, the Raiders.
Yep.
A little bit of a downgrade of talent, I think we both agree on that. Just more of a, you know, at least in Jair's case for the last several seasons, like, he really hasn't had a healthy season in a little minute, so if you get somebody good like Hobbs in them to be able to be available.
Over the last 4 seasons, I think Jair played around half or so of the games that he was available for.
Yeah.
It's not particularly good amount of availability. So if Hobbs is healthy all season, you know, that alone is already a boost to the, you know, kind of like the baseline. Man, they just left that open.
Hit the gritty of my own.
Everybody gritty. Obviously, when they're both healthy, he's a downgrade. But
yeah,
you know, Jair's not here anymore. Hobbs is, you know, most likely the new number 1 for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
And I think that because our defense, they couldn't get a pass rush last year with 4 men. And it was just, I mean, it was categorically bad. I don't want to say historically bad, but categorically it was pretty terrible. It was by far one of our worst metrics on defense. Parsons, who we really haven't talked about the trade part yet. Parsons will be a big benefit to that because a couple years ago he had almost as many pressures by himself as our entire defensive line did. If our 4-man rush can start to actually get home, it's going to help Nixon and Hobbs, especially as our top 2 corners, but anyone else that's out there too, whether it's Valentine or, if Bo Melton gets any minutes, on the field, dime packages or something like that, it helps the safeties. Like, it'll be a positive for everybody if those guys can get home with just 4.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it does suck that Kenny Clark's going to be gone.
For sure.
After 9 seasons, he was going to be on his 10th coming in. Still only 29. He'll be 30 later this year, but that was a old 29 at this point after being in the league for that long.
Yeah, I mean, 29 years old. You've been in the league for 9 years.
Yeah,
going into your 10th season.
Yeah, so to be able to get Micah Parsons, who's still at age 26 right now, just kind of entering the prime of his career, for a guy who, even though he's young, has a lot of mileage on him at this point, and just 2 first-round picks after, hypothetically, you were going to see 3 to 4, it seemed like, or not 4, but 3 plus maybe a player or something.
3 plus a player that we expected to be a little more comparable, like Rashawn Gary or even Lucas Van Ness or something like that. Someone that's a little younger, still has some promise, was having a good camp, so to give up 2 firsts and Kenny Clark almost feels like a steal, assuming Parsons is healthy and plays well all year.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be very exciting to see how Halfley handles all of that. Does Van Ness get to go inside a little bit more?
Whoa!
Holy crap!
Whoa!
Let's go!
You had 3 people get in to be able to block that.
This is on All Pro too, so that.
I am shocked.
That is probably the first time I think I've ever had a field goal block actually work. Wow, what a turnaround at the end. He
blocked it with his feet.
Oh my god, that was awesome. I'm actually caught off guard. Let's go.
My train of thoughts totally broken.
Yeah, same. I think we were on Halfley and Parsons and what they were gonna do and stuff, but
yeah, Halfley hopefully is gonna be cooking. Now he's got a new defensive playmaker.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Let's compose ourselves. Get back to the topic at hand. I will say, as far as the free agency signings go, I was definitely disappointed that Hardman wasn't able to make the team as a returner. He fumbled that punt in the preseason, and he wasn't technically cut that day, but I'm sure that the needle shifted towards cutting him versus keeping him with that play.
Yeah, especially now, just if you're on there mainly for returning and then you can't show the ball security, that's not a good look. But
no,
that was what it was. I guess the next thing that we were going to talk about too after the Parsons deal was, do you think that kind of shifts the needles? And this is going into our season predictions. Do you think that puts the Packers as the favorite of the NFC North now?
I can't, in good faith, say that we're the favorites for the NFC North because the Lions, for the most part, are returning, I think, a good chunk of their starting roster. Hutchinson will theoretically be healthy this year. And, when he was on the field last year, he was a force. I think he only played 5 games. And I mean, he was just a monster. So I can't say in good faith that we'll beat the Lions for the division. However, our defense with Parsons now kind of has like that, elite to very good player at every phase of the defense. We've got X at safety. He's elite. You've got Walker or Cooper at linebacker that is very good. Cooper's shown some elite flashes. So we'll see if he stays healthy all year and can put it all together in year 2. And then you have Parsons and Gary on the at the edge positions. The defense should be good. Totally not pass interference. Absolutely
Nope. Can't call it on X.
But my homerism, yeah, absolutely. We're going 17-0.
Yeah.
There's not let me look at the schedule. Nope, I don't think we're going to lose a game ever.
Yeah, I think the one thing that gives me maybe a little bit more confidence in the Packers getting the division, obviously outside of Parsons and all them coming in, is the Lions are replacing a couple of defensive or a couple of coordinators. So it's going to be.
It's definitely big. I mean, you lose 2 of your main coaches. I mean, a lot of the position coaches are still the same, and there should be a lot of continuity there. I know that they had some issues in the preseason, with some sloppiness and stuff, but they kind of played like us. They really didn't have their starters in very much. When you expect, the second, third, fourth string players to be pretty sloppy. There's a reason that those guys aren't the starters. So, I mean, obviously the ultimate test to start the season will be when we play them in week 1. Although, we didn't play our starters very much, and, we have a knack of starting very slow when our starters don't play in the preseason. So, kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, it didn't help with all the injuries either right off the get-go.
No, because then you start benching your starters just to keep them healthy.
Yeah.
And even with that, Love still got hurt and had to have surgery. This is non-throwing hand, so I don't, other than maybe snapping it under center, I don't expect it to affect him a whole lot, but we'll see. I feel good about us being able to beat them for first in the division. I just can't say within good faith that we'll definitely pass them, because they're still a good team, and Dan Campbell runs a very disciplined ship. I mean, honestly, the last couple seasons when we've lost to the Lions, when you look at it on paper, you're like, we should have beaten them. But then when you look at how they played, and it's all down to execution, they executed better. That's on Dan.
Yeah.
And our relative youth, does create execution problems. You're youngest team in the league, you're usually going to have execution problems consistently. But that's not an excuse. You still got to play better.
Yep. Yeah. If I had to
round
go
out.
Yeah.
Yep. Go on. Go on.
Good. You're pretty much going right where I was going to say, to round it out, where do you think the division officially falls?
I think us and the Lions are 1-2. I would lean towards the Lions at the moment just because of last season. And then for 3-4, I'm leaning Vikings Bears. Vikings' biggest question mark is going to be JJ McCarthy. He was hurt last year, so there's really not a lot of game footage to go off of. But the Bears have gotten a new head coach, and they've made some pretty good signings on the offensive line in free agency this year. They are looking like a better team than last year, and I think that Ben Johnson's going to do a better job of working with Caleb Williams and trying to get him comfortable and scheme stuff open. I'm still not sold that Williams will be a stud, but he doesn't have to be, if they just plays competently. Look at Darnold. Darnold's not a stud, but he played competently for the Vikings, and they did way better than any of us expected going into the season.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think kind of going into it, I'm going to lean Packers, and that's probably a little bit more homer than anything because I'm in same boat. I overshot that one. They could easily be second behind the Lions. I would be still okay as long as they're top 2 on that. Yeah, but I think Minnesota, like you said, McCarthy is not really well known just yet on the NFL level. He ended up getting hurt last year, like you said. I think they're going to have enough of a step back that I could see them finishing 3rd in the division. I think Detroit, like you said, is going to be, or excuse me, Chicago, like you said, is going to be a lot better, especially with coaching. I just think they might be like a year out still. I'm not even gonna lie, I was trying to force one to Golden here for the video. I wanted him to get 1.
Boy.
Yeah. But that sucked. But yeah, I think that's gonna be kind of your NFC North order. What? Also, Cooper catching CeeDee Lamb.
Cooper quick, boy. Also, Madden defense is weird.
Yeah. But
and hurry up offense. Interesting.
There's only 3:28 left and they're down 2 scores. I guess I get it. But yeah, outside of the North, I guess for quick hits, we'll go with quick thoughts about each division. NFC East. Do you think the Eagles become the first repeat division winner since 2004?
I mean, it's hard to root against the defending Super Bowl champions. I do think that Washington will give them a run for their money this year. They played better last year than anyone expected, and they played the Eagles very, very tough. So I think they'll give them a run, but I mean, right now, you can't vote against the defending champions, especially when they really didn't lose too many players that were significant. I know they lost Sweat on defense, but I mean, for the most part,
State, baby.
For the most part, their offense and defense is intact. Their coordinators are intact.
Yeah, I think
pick against them.
Yeah, it's hard to go against the the division winners and Super Bowl defending champions and stuff like that. Like you said,
was this Dallas in the playoffs?
For real. I'm gonna say Philly becomes that first one to repeat in 20 years. Washington, I think, will take a little bit of a step back, and that's not even due to like their talent. I just feel like Daniels is gonna have a little bit of a sophomore slump. Just gut feeling. You see that a lot with quarterbacks, especially. I still think it's good enough to get second in the division. Part of me wants to kind of say Giants over Cowboys, but I'm not that bold yet. I think the Giants are going to be a little bit better. The vibes seem better, at least up there. But I think Dallas is going to sneak it just a little bit ahead of them for that division. And then go into
I mean, if you're looking at the rosters on paper, Dallas is still better than the Giants.
Yeah.
Especially if Dak stays healthy.
Yeah. Go into the NFC South. Don't really think you're going to see much movement there. Last year it was Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, and Saints. Saints are probably going to be in contention for the #1 pick this year, just based off their quarterback situation.
And their roster in general.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad roster outside of Kamara.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're going to be struggling. I can see a world where Carolina kind of comes up after Atlanta a little bit, just because Bryce Young was looking really good the back half of the season last year. But I still think Atlanta is probably the favorite over them in those two spots. But Baker Mayfield and company, Mike Evans, all them, they should repeat as division champions.
Tampa is the best team on paper. They're the one that I would expect to win the division again.
Yeah. NFC West, honestly, the 49ers, they were dead last in the division last year, but they got kind of wrecked by all the injuries and stuff.
They got annihilated by injuries.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they're going to return to division champion status again. The one thing that I will be interested in is how does Seattle do. McDonald, excuse me, not McDaniel. He's been a really good defensive coach wherever he goes. Damn, I cannot hit golden for nothing right now. But yeah, I mean, wherever he's gone, his defense has worked. So I wouldn't be shocked if like they get led kind of more on defense. I don't think Darnold's going to do as good over there as he did in Minnesota, but you know, I think they'll be well enough to be in second place. The Rams, I do not trust it with Stafford's. You know, even though he's playing week 1, he's been questionable for a little bit. I guess he came to practice back to practice like 2 weeks ago, but just I'm always worried about injuries like that.
Yeah.
So
his is a lower back injury, right?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, I just remember like it was like he wasn't getting the treatment that everybody was thinking he was going to get or something like that. And
yeah, I mean, we saw that with Za'Darius when he was still with us. You know, you get back injury and you just may never return.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the 49ers get back to the postseason. Hopefully we knock them off in the postseason. Cardinals, I think will be okay. Marvin Harrison takes kind of a step up, but it's going to be probably still a 3rd to 4th place run. I think they'll finish behind the Rams for right now, but if Stafford does go down for a hot minute, I can see them being 3rd in that division. The one thing that will probably keep them behind the Rams if Stafford does go down is my Florida State boys, Verse and Fisk over there.
Yeah, I mean, they balled out last season.
Yeah. But flipping to the AFC side real fast. AFC West, Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl last year, but obviously got bodied by Philadelphia. Do you think they can repeat as division winners, or do you think somebody like the Chargers with Harbaugh or the Broncos finally jump them for a division championship?
It's hard to root against Andy Reid. You know, the Chiefs are getting older on both sides of the ball. Mahomes is still a great quarterback, but he's not, doing quite the same magic he was doing 5-6 seasons ago. Travis Kelce is 5-6 seasons older. The wide receiver group is a mishmash collection of bodies. It's hard to root against them because they've been good for so long now. I would say that I would pencil them in right now as the expected winner. I honestly think that if any team is going to challenge them, it's going to be Denver.
Honestly, that was where I was going to go. I think I called Cincinnati taking over the AFC last year, and we saw how that went, but I think Denver...
This is going back to these bad takes that we have.
Yeah, but I think Denver, behind their defense, and I think they can finally knock off the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a rough season last year where it was a bunch of close games on the way to the Super Bowl, and then they finally got absolutely destroyed in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl losers tend to not do that well the next season, so it feels like Denver can kind of step up. Maybe the Chargers, but I think Denver's probably better suited right now. I still think the Chiefs.
I'm higher on Denver than I am on San Diego or Los Angeles at the moment.
Yeah,
sorry, force of habit.
Yeah, I've been San Diego in several years, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think Denver will get there. I think the Chiefs will still make the playoffs, but that is what it is. AFC South feels like it's going to be the Texans.
I mean, the Texans have the best team, the most complete team. There's nothing exciting about the Colts, Titans, or Jaguars to me.
Yeah.
If Jacksonville stays healthy, I could see them challenging. Right now, I don't see the Colts challenging, and I don't see the Titans challenging. Neither one of them had particularly good rosters last year.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones won the starting spot in Indianapolis after playing pretty horrible the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't look good for those two teams. So if Jacksonville stays healthy, I think they have a chance, but the Texans are still the better team at the moment. I expect them to win the division.
Parsons got 4 sacks in that game right then. Jesus. But
just do that every week in real life, Mr. Parsons.
Please. Yeah, I think Jacksonville's got a case to try to be number 2 in the division. It's gonna be interesting to see how Travis Hunter does this season, if he does play both ways or not. Like, what they end up doing overall.
I can't imagine him. Almost every rookie hits a slump, particularly around the time the college football season would end.
Yeah.
And if he's going to try to play offense and defense in any significant amount that it would actually contribute to the team, he's going to be so gassed by like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, probably. So,
and there won't be much left to give at that point.
Yeah. And then AFC East, Bills should be kind of the runaway favorites for that division. Do you think?
I think the Patriots will be improved over last year, but I don't see anything on their roster that says that they're going to be challenging for the first spot. Drake May is still kind of a question mark on whether he's the guy. Vrabel was a good coach for the Titans. He's gonna be an upgrade over Mayo. He's much more of a player's coach, where Mayo just seemed to be kind of like this weird guy where he wasn't really a player's coach and he wasn't really a management coach. He was just kind of like doing his own thing and no one liked him. Except for Robert Kraft, apparently, because he's the one that hired him.
Not to change topics too, but since we mentioned the Patriots, I just happened to look up how North Carolina was doing with Belichick down there.
Yep.
It's not looking good. They're down 48-14 right now, so that's a rough debut. But yeah, I think the Bills will win the division, relatively easy. Miami, it's tough because they just seem like there's going to be some dysfunction. Like if he misses games, I feel like that's going to tank him. But even Tyreek Hill,
I mean, every time Tua misses games, Tyreek Hill disappears because his backup just can't give him the ball.
Yeah, now he's not voted as a captain over there and stuff. Like,
yeah.
They're talented, but it just seems like they always have that drop. I can see them making it as like a 6th or 7th seed in the wild cards.
Yeah. Well, they also have like Achane at running back. He's a great running back when he's healthy, but he misses a lot of games.
Yeah. So I think I think Buffalo will get there. Miami maybe makes the wild card. Jets, good luck. Like,
their starting quarterback right now is Justin Fields.
Yeah,
and he didn't play particularly well with Chicago. The same issues he had in Chicago, he had in Pittsburgh last year.
Yep.
I'm not expecting him to take some magical leap, especially since their head coach is a defensive guy.
Yeah.
I don't see him making a leap to suddenly being a good quarterback from being a mediocre to bad quarterback.
Same.
And, even when Rodgers was playing well last year, they still couldn't get over the hump. Because he did have some pretty good games. Statistically, it was one of the better seasons for a Jets quarterback. They were a terrible team. It got worse as the season went along, even though Rodgers played better as the season went along. It's just, I can't see them fighting for anything other than last right now.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, I do agree the Patriots will probably be improved under Vrabel. He always seems to get a lot out of his teams. He's never really had that great of a quarterback, so I think, this might be the best that he has so far.
To this.
Yeah, so it is what it is there. If Tua does go down for a hot minute, I could see the Patriots sniping second in the division, but it's really all Buffalo in that one.
I do think that the Patriots are probably going to start pretty poorly, though.
Yeah.
They may not be able to dig out of that hole.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe we'll be surprised. Again, this is an episode of bad takes. Yep. We're probably going to be completely wrong on almost everything we said.
Probably. And then rounding out to AFC North, do you think Baltimore repeats, or does Cincinnati overcome, their defensive issues from last year and duel it out on offense? Or does Rodgers lead the Steelers to something other than 9-8 this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like every other division. The Ravens have the most complete team in the division as it stands right now. They should repeat as division champions. I like the Bengals. Burrow, Jamar Chase. They have a lot of weapons. Their offense clicks. Burrow gets killed a lot. They really didn't do much to improve on that. he's still going to get killed. And their defense is still going to suck because it's been terrible for several seasons now. That's the reason they lost the Super Bowl, is their defense just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
I don't see them being able to challenge over the length of the season.
Yeah, I think
because of their defense and because of their offensive line.
Yeah, that's my concern with Cincinnati. Like, I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think the defense is going to do them in by the time they get to the playoffs itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's like deja vu. It's like the last 2 or 3 years, it's been the same issues with the Bengals. You go into the season, you know, there's question marks about their offensive line, and there's question marks about their defense. You know, this is just like with the Packers. Every year, Rodgers' offense great, defense sucks. We lose in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You got to have at least a competent defense. The Steelers, definitely a question mark. Rodgers is an upgrade over the way Russell Wilson played last year, and certainly over what Justin Fields did. But having watched him play for several years, he has this thing with running his offense that doesn't always jive with what the coaches are trying to do. And if he fights it too hard, there's going to be issues. And this is the first time that he's going to have absolutely no connection to any of his receivers. Randall Cobb, not there. Devontae Adams, I don't see him coming back. Why would the Rams trade him? Certainly not going to cut him. Alan Lazard was not particularly the best wide receiver. And as far as I know, he's not a Steeler at this point. Metcalf is a good wide receiver, but there's just a lot of question marks. If the defense plays well and TJ Watt stays healthy, and I have no reason to suspect that the Steelers defense won't play well with TJ Watt healthy, they have a legitimate shot to knock off the Ravens if the offense can score points. And that's totally predicated on how well the offense runs with Rodgers. He's getting older, but he can still throw it. He showed that last year with the Jets. He's got the arm talent. He doesn't have the legs anymore. But he still has the arm talent. If there's any cohesiveness in the offense and they can put up some points, they'll challenge the Ravens. But right now, I think they're going to be fighting the Bengals for number 2. They have the defense. The Bengals have the offense.
Live from it, run from it. 9-8 arrives the same.
Yeah, he's never had a losing record as a head coach in 18 years.
Yeah, something
19
like that.
years. It's insane. The problem is, if you're a Steelers fan, the last several years have just been mediocre, and that's sucks to watch.
Can't win a playoff game, but can't get a losing season to get somebody that's actually going to be good. But yeah, I think Cincinnati's going to take second in the division, Steelers third, but I can see a world where the AFC North sends 3 teams to the playoffs. But
yeah,
I guess a Super Bowl pick then, very early, obviously, but I'm going to say, to kick it off, I think this is the year the Chiefs go down in the AFC. I'm going to say Baltimore comes out of the AFC this time. Lamar Jackson finally makes it to the big game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even say he'll probably be the MVP this year. He's the betting favorite right now, and I think he'll live up to it. NFC side, man, that one's harder to me because, Green Bay has really good odds, obviously, but
especially after the trade.
Yeah, it's is that trade going to be what propels us or not? And I always have that leery feeling of, if I'm thinking the 49ers are making the playoffs, can we finally get past them as well? It's been a little bit of abuse lately. So
30 years.
Yeah, I mean, the 90s and outside of the Jerry Rice fumbled game was pretty fun, but
pretty much since we've been born, we've struggled against the 49ers.
Yep. I always grew up hating the Cowboys because they were the ones that always eliminated us when I was super young. And now that I'm older, I hate the 49ers, it seems like more. But if I had to make an NFC team, even though Philly's the defending champs, I don't see them repeating. It's so hard to go back to back.
And
Uh,
I agree that the NFC is a more difficult conference right now.
yeah. You know what? Screw it. Let me be a homer. Give me the Ravens Packers in the Super Bowl. Packers win.
Oh, you're doing winning predictions too?
Hell yeah. If you
Totally
can't,
blind. Not even played a snap yet.
hey,
Um,
if you can't be a homer in the first video of the season, then why are you even doing
I mean, I don't disagree. I was going to pick the Packers to represent
it?
the NFC. I just didn't know we were doing winning predictions too.
I'll go ahead and
Um,
put a stamp on it.
I think as long as the Packers stay healthy, which is always a big key that pretty much never happens for any team. But as long as we stay healthy, Love, when he's been healthy, has shown that he's a very good quarterback. I don't want to call him elite because he still makes some boneheaded plays.
Shout out
Um,
to that Rams game.
ugh, that was so bad. Um, but if they stay healthy, I don't see any reason now that we have an actual edge force, to rush the quarterback, because that was one of the biggest issues. After they rushed four, they never got home. It's very, very minuscule percentage that they got home. And, if you can't rush four, you're cooked, because then you have to blitz and you have to get home with the blitz. Because if you don't get home, it's over. So if we can get pressure with just four, now that we have Parsons, like, think about the Eagles game in the playoffs last year. If we had any sort of four-man rush, I think we can win that game, even with all the other bad things that happened, because that was a collection of bad things that happened. Literally from the opening kickoff, we had poor luck. If you have someone like Parsons who's able to generate pressure, I think we could have beaten the Eagles, and then who knows what happens. I don't know that we'd be favored necessarily in every game going forwards, but I think we matched up well with every other team except the Eagles
Yeah.
and maybe the Lions. But I think we could have beaten the Lions if we played them again.
Yeah, I mean, we came
Um,
close a couple times, just couldn't quite finish the job against literally anybody in the division outside of the Bears on the one blocked, field goal.
yeah, that was lucky. We were a blocked field goal away from going 0-6 in the division, still winning. It would have been 10 games in that scenario. That's insane. Um, so I'm going to pick the Packers because, like you said, if you can't be a homer in the first video, what are you doing? I would say that if I had to say the other team that I think has the best chance of the Super Bowl out of the NFC, I would probably choose. It's kind of a toss up between the Eagles or the Lions. I think they're both good teams. But I'm going to choose the Packers. Out of the AFC, I think the Bills are finally going to do it. I think they're finally going to get there.
I
And then
would,
they're going to lose
I would,
again.
that would suck. I would freaking love it if Bills Mafia can actually get back to a Super Bowl and actually win this time. But
Not if we're there.
yeah, I mean, yeah, if Green Bay's if Green Bay's not in it, I would love for Buffalo to have that success, especially getting to do that one game up in Buffalo. That was a ton of fun.
Well,
But
except for the game.
yeah, I mean, even with that too, like we weren't expecting to win, so it didn't hurt as bad. Still sucked, but didn't hurt as bad. But yeah, I think if I had to choose a second NFC team outside of Green Bay, it's always hard to go against the conference champions, but you don't see back-to-back champs often for a reason. I don't really feel like the 49ers are going to be it just yet. So it's hard to really go with the Lions, even though, I think they could easily win the division over us. I just have a hard time picking that team without, their coordinators. So I think I'm gonna go with I'm not picking the Bucks. You know what? Choose the Eagles. I don't care. I can't commit. Jesus.
I mean, the downside to the NFC being so competitive the last 3-4 seasons is it's really hard to choose a team because at any given moment, one of them could win.
Yeah. But did you choose an MVP by chance?
Of the league,
Yeah.
I did not. I mean, obviously, like you said, Lamar is the betting favorite. Just because of his arms and his legs, I would expect it to be probably Allen or Jackson again. It's too early. Like I have a hard time picking it when they haven't even played a game to see what's going on this year. But like those would be my two expected favorites. Just they've been in the running for the last 4 or 5 years. They can score touchdowns with their legs and throw it. They do a lot more for their teams than some of these other quarterbacks do. And realistically, the MVP has become a quarterback award.
Yeah.
Even Saquon didn't even get MVP after an amazing season last year. So it's a quarterback stat now. I think it's going to be one of those two. I did pick the Bills to go to the Super Bowl, so I guess I'd lean towards Allen.
Yeah, makes sense, and that's probably why I went with Lamar. I picked the Ravens on the AFC side, so yeah. Well, in the meantime, yeah, I guess we're gonna see probably Saturday out everybody. So in the meantime, hopefully I can get the Madden 25 video out in between there to finish that one up. If not, I'll let you know how that's going in the Madden video that we do on Saturday. But yeah, any last words, Zach?
No, I've said my piece.
All right,
Bye,
well,
Internet.
see you.